All right, what's up guys? It's Tanis here and I have a confession to make. I want to get back into PC handheld gaming. I gave myself a week with these devices to see which one I was going to return and which one I was going to keep. And the one I decided to keep might not be the obvious answer that you'd think. I can't play all the games I want to play on Switch 2. Elden Ring, for instance, doesn't come out until August. I also don't want to become just a dedicated Switch 2 channel. I love this device, but there's a couple of things that I can't do with it that a PC handheld can do very well. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm just going away from the Switch 2 and I'm abandoning it. That is absolutely not the case. There are tons of games that are coming out, like Star Fox, Ocarina of Time Remake, Pokemon Winds and Waves, and all of those retro exclusive titles that I can't play anywhere else legally. I found this Steamdeck OLED on Facebook Marketplace for $400. I couldn't let that opportunity pass me by. And I got this Xbox ROG Ally X open box for $950, more than double what I paid for my Switch 2. Now you might be asking, Tanis, I thought all of your content was based around convenient gaming. The Switch 2 provides the most convenient way to play. And you're right, it does. All of my friends play on PC. All of them play on PC. I've gone about 3 months not playing any games with the homies that aren't couch co-op games. Now, the Steamdeck OLED. What do I like about the Steamdeck OLED? Well, obviously, that beautiful OLED screen, those true blacks. I wish the Switch 2 launched with an OLED screen. I figured they weren't because they're gonna sell that model down the line in a couple of years. And I will definitely be picking that up when it does come out. The ergonomics of this thing are great. They feel wonderful in the hands. I mean, just check that out. Check it out. It contours perfectly. I like how the sticks feel on this device. I also believe there's gonna be some kind of nice continuity with the Steam Machine and the Steam Deck that you won't be able to get with another handheld without either changing the operating system or something that you might not be able to obtain at all. Now let's see what's favorable about the Xbox ROG Ally X. First thing is, let's go over ergonomics and comfort again. This feels better than an Xbox controller in your hands. I don't really know how to describe it. It looks just like an Xbox controller. It is not. It's a little bit more flat on where it kind of connects to the screen or the body. The stick placement is phenomenal. That feels just like an Xbox controller, which I prefer to use over PlayStation controllers. Sue me. I don't know what kind of fairy dust voodoo magic they put into these speakers, but you can just be playing, you know, some Battlefield 6. You can literally hear enemies over here. I'm telling you, it is more than just front-facing standard speakers. They also get way louder. I was playing this device outside during a storm. I should have some footage of that. And I was only playing at like 50% volume and I almost thought it was too loud. There would never be an instance where the speakers are just not loud enough on this device. Maybe you wouldn't think about speakers being super important to your experience, but they really are. What do I dislike about the Steamdeck OLED? Sadly, it's really difficult to talk about the Steam Deck today and not also bring up its aging hardware. The Steam Deck came out in 2022, had a refresh I believe in 2023 with the OLED model, which was a nice improvement to the efficiency of the device, increasing the battery life as well. However, the performance is lacking now. There are definitely some games that just won't play nearly as well. I'm not super duper picky on specs. However, there is a point where having good enough specs increases the convenience factor of a device. You don't have to tinker with settings because it can just handle it anyway. The performance headroom of the Steam Deck is not as dated as I think people think. I was still able to play Resident Evil 2, the remake, but I was running at like 10 watts of power. I experienced no hiccups. It was completely fine. It almost felt as nice as playing Resident Evil Requiem on the Switch 2. The speakers on the Steam Deck OLED are okay. I feel like they don't get nearly loud enough until you've got them almost maxed out. It just wasn't loud enough, and I feel kind of weird putting it all the way up to basically max so where I can hear my game. And what did I dislike about the Xbox ROG Ally X? First off, I really didn't care for the sleep and wake function until I turned it from sleep and wake to hibernate. However, the downside to hibernating is that it basically almost shuts off the device it takes a snapshot of where you're at. So if you're playing a game, you can hit the power button to make it hibernate, and it will save the state of the device before you hit hibernate. So when you turn it back on, you still have to boot up and sign into Windows, but you will be right back where you left off. That takes about 15 seconds, where on the Switch 2, that takes one button press, another button press, and you're back in the game. And of course, on the Steamdeck OLED, you press that orange button up top one time, you're back into the game. An issue that I had with each device, one was much more detrimental than the other. For the Steam Deck, I put it to sleep mode, went to sleep, woke up, hit the power button to start playing my game, and it was dead. I don't know how that even happened. That's never happened to me with any of the Steam Decks I've ever had. I've never had it just die on me like throughout the night. And I was at like 80% battery too. Like it should not have died. So after I realized the Steam Deck was dead, I was already sitting outside. I was, I had completed my ritual to start gaming. I had to go back inside, plug it in, grab my Switch 2 and start playing on there. First world problem, I know. But when you're looking for a convenient device, that's something that you really don't want to be happening. Now, it's not something that's happened again since, but it's still something to take mind of because, well, it did happen. And my issue with the Xbox ROG Ally X, it was a big one. Before I learned about the hibernate feature that the Xbox mode or whatever has built in, I was just using the standard sleep and wake. And it was working fine. It was preserving battery life quite well. It brought you right back to the part of the game that you were playing. Until I was traveling, I don't have a case for it, so I just kind of threw it in with my laundry while it was asleep, and it woke up and was on the entire time I was driving. When I got to my parents' house, I realized it was on and was hot to the touch. The screen was hot. I thought I smelt burning plastic. I shut it off immediately, and I was freaking out because this is a $950 device. I don't really just want to break it immediately. Thankfully, it ended up being fine. After that, I found the wonderful hibernate option, which I started using and haven't had a problem with it since. So those are some of the issues that I had with the devices, some things I didn't like, concerns for one of them. Segueing into some of the hidden benefits of these devices, the Steam Deck in particular, I think will have great continuity with the upcoming Steam machine. I just can't imagine there won't be some cool benefit to pairing a Steam machine with a Steam Deck. Two Steam devices, two Valve hardware related devices. The hidden benefit for the Xbox ROG Ally X, I would say, is Xbox mode. I thought about putting Linux or SteamOS onto the Xbox ROG Ally X. Xbox mode was a breeze to use. Lots of people complain about it. It's not super duper seamless like Linux or SteamOS would be. I didn't see any reason that would make me not want to use Xbox mode, to go through the trouble to install another operating system on it, which is not difficult by any means. But I enjoyed my experience with Xbox mode. I got to play Game Pass games. I got to play games from my Xbox library from my Xbox Series X that I have, and all the games ran perfect. There's 3 power modes that you get to choose from: silent, performance, turbo mode, and kind of an extra 4th one if you plug it in. And whenever I ran super high demanding games on turbo mode, they work great. Ultimately, which one am I going to choose and why? The obvious answer should be the Xbox ROG Ally X. I got it for a cheaper price. I got it open box. I have a Steamdeck OLED, which I got for $415. Why wouldn't I just sell that to basically pay for a majority of the Xbox ROG Ally X? And especially when the performance headroom is so much greater. You have to think so much less when you're playing video games. You're not worried about performance when you're playing Elden Ring. You're playing high settings at 60 frames per second at 1080p. And of course, you have compatibility with Windows. So why did I choose the Steam Deck OLED? It has got so much better in the couple of months that I've not owned one than it has when I had one. I don't know what Valve has been doing with these recent updates. Everything runs so much better, and I'm not sure why. Maybe the second Steam Deck OLED that I had was just a faulty mod. I doubt it. I doubt there's something wrong with it. But this one, I'm playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor at 10 watts of power, and it's playing buttery smooth. I didn't look at a frame rate counter once while I was playing on these devices. I'm going purely based on how it felt to play. And the Steamdeck OLED felt wonderful. Much better than when I played it a couple months ago. Another thing is, when I had my gaming PC, I kind of expected PC power. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but when I wasn't getting 60 frames per second, I was figuring out why. Tweaking power settings, tweaking in-game settings, you know, whatever. This time around, I just played the games. That's what the Switch 2 has taught me, is just play the games, which is how the Switch 2 fits into all this. It has taught me valuable time-saving strategies. A, just play the games. B, don't worry about settings. The way that the game looks is good enough, most likely. If you have to tweak a resolution setting or two, sure, whatever. You're gonna get that with a PC handheld or PC gaming in general. But you don't need to pixel peep. You don't need that frame rate counter up all the time looking at, oh, well, can I optimize it a little bit more? You don't have to. Just play the game. Now, the Steamdeck OLED is probably not the device for you. First off, there's probably not that many people in your area that you're gonna find selling it for $400. If that wasn't the case for me, where I found someone selling it for so cheap, I would definitely have gone with the Xbox ROG Ally X, hands down. Paying $800 for the experience that the Steamdeck OLED gave me, just get a Switch 2. And if you are an enthusiast, you're gonna go for the Xbox ROG Ally X anyway because it's more powerful. You can dock it, and it's a PC right there, out of the box. You can do crazy things on it. I don't need mine to do anything extra besides just play some games in my Steam library that I wanted to revisit. I know this was kind of a different kind of video that I'm used to making. Obviously, I've made a lot of Switch 2 content, and that won't change. I still want to talk about the Switch 2, but I also don't want my channel just to become a Nintendo Switch 2 focused channel. I want to talk about other things. I just want to talk about gaming conveniently and how we can just kind of play games and not worry about what other people are talking about. Not playing games for being part of a conversation, rather playing games for our own enjoyment. And if you believe that sentiment, then you know what, hey, welcome to the freaking club. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and I hope you found it a little interesting. Let me know what you're playing down in the comments and what devices you're playing them on. I appreciate y'all for sticking around to the end of this video. You have a good rest of your day. Peace.